Good afternoon, everyone. Today I have a very incredible guest with us, Mr. Dorje Angchuk, sir, who has been working at IIA since more than 2 decades. And I have collected most of your questions, and we will be asking them one by one. So first of all, good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, and thank you for visiting the observatory and us here.
Yes. So the observatory trip was very good, and so I wanted to know, like, there are so many telescopes. So which was the first telescope that was launched here, which was fixed here at the IAO?
Yeah, the project itself started with the 2-meter class telescope, and this was the first one to be installed, and the installation started somewhere in 97. And 98 I joined, and the telescope came in 2000, and it was installed in 2000. So that is the first telescope, and from that the observatory was established and more telescope came.
Yes. So, sir, is it good to say that this was the first telescope that has like set the scene, and after this, all the other telescopes are coming one by one by one?
Exactly. That was the first telescope, and obviously the site was very good, and everybody chipped in, and now many institute has telescope.
Yes. So this site is, if I'm not wrong, it is more than 4,500 meters high. So how is this site better than other sites which are available in India, which have the dark sky as well? Maybe they are not so cold, so they have their own advantages. So according to all those advantages, how is Hanle the best site?
Yeah, there is numerous reasons which makes Hanle as the best dark sky site. So some of the reason, one, we are on the other side of the Himalayas. So Hanle is, you can say, monsoon bound. Because western disturbance, whenever it comes, everything falls on Srinagar, Kargil, Zojila, etc., and light cloud passes. Whereas when the southeast monsoon comes, everything falls in, all the deposit gets on Himachal, Uttarakhand, etc., and then we get lighter clouds which can cross the Himalayas and visit us. So with that fact, this is actually, we get around like 180 total cloud-free nights, and observable is like we have like 270 nights in a year. So that is one of the reason, and the other reason is that, as you know, this is a very dry site. So this is a very favorable site for the infrared observations, because you know what happens in the plains, whenever whatever the infrared light we get, or which the telescope collects, it gets absorbed in the atmosphere. So this being very cold and dry site, we can even see in the infrared region, and hence this project initially was called Himalayan Infrared and Optical Telescope HIRET project. Yeah.
Okay.
So these are the two reasons, and then the other reason, obviously, as it's 4,500 meter above sea level, so we can say it's like practically half the atmosphere, and we get very good seeing. And plus the dark sky contributes. There's no light pollution nearby. The nearest city, Leh, which is around aerial distance, is also 200 kilometers. So there is no light pollution, and this seems to be the darkest site for any observatory in the world.
Okay, in the entire world?
In the entire world.
Okay, that's very good to hear. So, sir, this place is also, I'm guessing, like this is in the work to be called a dark sky reserve. So, how is that going to change? Is that going to affect in a positive way the research that is happening here, or in a negative way, or it's not going to affect at all?
See, wherever people are, obviously development will always be there. So, and also when we came to the observatory, we were like an outsider, and the observatory was established. With the coming, with more incoming tourists, what we were finding is that there are more light pollution that is happening, and also what we in fact want to see is that the community who are actually the origin of that place are also the beneficiaries of the dark sky thing. I think it will benefit, and right now I'm very much positive, because all the villagers, they are very happy if such a thing happens, and they are in favor of the same.
Yes, that's very good to hear. And sir was talking about employment as well. So, sir, I wanted to know your work about your work. So, what exactly do you do here? Because you're a software engineer, and this is an astronomical site.
No, I'm an electronics and communication engineer.
Okay.
When I finished my engineering degrees. Then I was looking for a job, and simultaneously I got these two opportunities. And Hanle, the creation of it was the Hanle Observatory was in its creation. So I thought I will being near to my home, and also being a new thing, I will learn. I will have more learning opportunities. So I'm quite satisfied that I'm here, and I never got bored of my work, which now includes more administrative part also, along with the electronics that we have to cater.
Yes. And sir, I've also seen your pictures. So sir does wonderful astrophotography, and all the images that we have seen of the Hanle Observatory, of the different telescopes, whether it's the HCT or the Growth Telescope, they have a beautiful Milky Way band, and some of them also show the heritage of Ladakh and the heritage of Leh. So how do you go about capturing these? Like, you are working in a very different field, and then astrophotography is something different. So how did you find that?
Yeah, basically, I just happened to come across of astrophotography, because what happened, it was a hobby to me, and then I can also relate here. One thing I would like to tell everybody is that the Ladakh landscape as well, the skies are very beautiful, that anybody can become a photographer, no matter what, and they need to just have little bit skills, and the place will reveal itself by itself. So it's I just do some tweaking, etc. Otherwise, most of the credit goes to Ladakh's landscape and natural heritage. That's the starry skies.
Okay. And so you have captured so many images. So what is one of the, if you have to pick one, which is your favorite, and why it was your favorite?
Obviously, the most favorite one would be the Comet Neowise over my own. I always loved, because it was in my own village, and I also happened to capture the Comet Neowise. In fact, many people would have captured, but COVID restricted the travels, and hence I was lucky being born and brought up in my own village, and I was able to capture the same. So that I find is one of the best, and also the Milky Way photograph over the Himalayan Chandra telescope was one of the best one I can recollect.
Yes. And some of the students are they are not able to understand, like, how can one see the Milky Way galaxy, the galaxy in which we live in, with naked eyes. So students have always this question, like, how can we see the Milky Way galaxy? Sir, can you describe that?
Oh, you have to come to Ladakh to see it, and especially on a new moon period, and it is fantastic. It's so clear and so dark that the Milky Way itself presented like an very strange cloud up in there, and then any student will then ask, what exactly is this cloud? So that's the beauty of this, the Milky Way cloud as seen over Ladakh.
Okay. And so in the end, I wanted to congratulate you from the teams of Kalam Labs, first of all, for taking the time out, and also for the wonderful work that you do here, especially for the astrophotography. And you were selected for an honorary member at IAU. So I wanted to congratulate you from the team of Kalam Labs as well on this beautiful thing, because now I really feel that India is having a very big name in the international community of astronomy all around the world.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks to Kalam Labs. Yeah.
It was a pleasure interacting with us, sir. So that's it for this interview, and we love science.